All right, I'm on the phone with MDI head football coach Mark Shields, as we are every Monday and Thursday during football season. And Coach, last time we talked, we were waiting to find out who you gave the game ball to, and I know that was you were meeting with your coaching staff, and if you would, tell us who got the game ball from the Old Town game last Friday.
Yep, so we decided to go with Kobe Lee. Kobe had a phenomenal game Friday night versus Old Town, and, he's had some big games all year long, and, I thought it was probably time that we give him a game ball, give him a little love. I think you look at his stats, and I think he was, around 180 yards maybe.
Yeah.
And, a couple touchdowns, and, you look at the game, and, excuse me, he had a couple holding penalties that held him back from a couple big runs, and, he would have been well over probably 250 yards on the night. So we decided that we'd give Kobe the game ball for Old Town.
So, he was also the 92-9 McDonald's Player of the Week that was voted on by the community, and I know that the MDI community rallied behind him after we posted that on our Facebook page. You also got some good news in the injury front, as Drake James is going to be available to play.
Yep, so good news this week on Drake. Got some news from the doctor and said that he's cleared to play, and the meniscus actually, their feeling was not damaged in his knee, and so he strapped it on a couple days ago. He looked good in practice. I think he's really excited to be out there, and it's just having another quality football player back on your team is good news for us, and so we're excited to have Drake back.
And, kudos to, we know that there are some that have been lost for the season, but they're still part of the team. They're still out there. They're attending practices or attending games and trying to do whatever they can to root on the boys.
Yeah, we do have a few guys that for sure. You think about Drake and Ezra Johnson. We lost those guys week one.
Right.
Parker Madeira, we lost him early in the season. And, these guys, they're showing up. A lot of these guys attend almost every practice. They're there filling water bottles, helping getting the ball set up on the field and cleaning up after practice, and they're there every game. And, it's definitely, shows the quality of character that these kids have. And I tell them all the time, I know you're injured, but you're still part of this program, you're still part of this team, and you're still part of the success that we're having. So, and I know that means a lot to them. So, kudos to all those kids that are, they're sticking it out, even though they can't actually play on the actual field.
So what have you been doing? Well, and let's also give some love to the Acadian Youth football team, the 7th and 8th grade team that finished undefeated this year, beat Ellsworth, and boy, that's the upcoming kids that are going to be future Trojans.
Yeah, that bodes well for the future for sure. I know Ken Hill and his staff, they do an excellent job down there with those kids, and it's something that shows us that the future is still going to be bright for MDI football. And we've talked a lot on this broadcast this season about our numbers being lower, and that is true. But the quality of kid that we're getting some real good, football players, but we're getting some real good people, and that's across the board, all the way through, and the EFL right up through the high school, and so that's really exciting news, and really proud to say that they're going to be coming to our program, and they'll try to keep our tradition going.
I guess Ken Hill had his head shaved too after winning and going undefeated. I don't know if that puts some pressure on you or what, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh man, I didn't know that, but I think you and I both know that. We've talked many times how we have the faces for radio, and I just don't think that's going to help anybody. I know my wife, tough enough for her as it is. She has to look at my ugly mug every day, but man, if it's shaved too, I don't know. I don't know if she could do it, but that's something we could think about. Maybe if we get to States, we'll talk about that.
There you go. How fantastic would that be to let the boys shave you?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm great with throwing those ideas out for you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Chris. That's very helpful.
Absolutely. All right, so tell us what have you done this week? I mean, you've kind of been laid back. You had Monday off, and what have you been doing this week?
Yep. So we gave the guys Monday off. Tuesday we came in and treated it almost like a typical Monday. We had them lift. We looked at film. We looked at our film versus Old Town, and then we looked at a little film of Oceanside and Foxcroft, both knowing that we could play one of them next Friday night. Wednesday we came out and had a regular practice. We did all our special teams, or went through a lot of our special teams. We spent a lot of time on our pass game. On Wednesday night, we set aside 30 minutes of just breakdown time with our quarterback, Andrew Phelps, and all our receivers, and running through all our pass game. We still believe that that's something we need to get better at, especially, down the stretch in the playoffs for sure, and with teams loading the box against us, we just have to be able to throw the football. So spent a lot of time with that, and then we had, some good team time, putting it together offensively, and then we had about 25 minutes of breakdown time defensively. We did a little bit of team defensively, but mostly breakdown individual drills defensively, and we're going to have a repeat of that tonight, being Thursday night practice, same style of practice. And then Friday, the weather doesn't look great, so what we're going to do is we're going to lift the guys again. We're going to do a little chalk talk with them, kind of go in Mark Arnold's room and on the whiteboard and start going over some of the new stuff that we've learned and working on, once again, some of our, blocking assignments and that sort of stuff. So we're well prepared, and then we're going to go in the gym and do some walkthrough stuff and try to be out of here around 5 Friday night, and then the guys will have the weekend off, and then come Monday we'll be back at it.
Hey, with the bye week, and thinking about not playing for a week, does that help, hurt, indifferent? I mean, I know that if it was a week in between for basketball, Bunky Dow and Justin Norwood would have scheduled an exhibition game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and I mean, I've never had the luxury of knowing, honestly. We've never had a bye week for the playoffs. I mean, back in the day, I know years ago we had a schedule where we had a bye week, and I think our bye week was like week 1, so that didn't do us any good, if you remember that. And so I really don't have anything to compare it to. I told the kids last night, I said the fear that some coaches have of the bye week is that your team will come out and play flat because you're just used to playing every week, and we don't play this week. So, so we made sure that practice was ramped up, last night. We'll make sure it's ramped up tonight, and Friday will be a little more relaxed, and then on Monday we'll get it ramped up again. I think it's really important that we still play at a high level of intensity, and we remind the boys if we don't see that. Sometimes we remind them by running a hill or two, like we had to last night, to regain our focus. So, yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Madison, I was reading in the paper, Madison did a little scrimmage this week versus, I believe it was Winthrop, because they kind of felt like that would, help them where they are used to playing each week. My fear of doing something like that where our numbers are so low that somebody might get hurt in that scrimmage, so I really would rather not do that, and we decided against something like that. But, even inter-squad type stuff, I try to stay clear of. I'm not a big guy on a lot of hitting in practice because I just think, it's the greater risk of somebody getting injured, and those guys get banged up pretty good, once a week. So I don't agree with that, but, we'll find out more if, hopefully we don't come out flat next Friday night, or I'll say, oh, maybe we should have. But I really do believe that our kids are very focused this season, and we have the type of kid that I think, once we kick that ball off or receive that ball, that first kickoff of the game next Friday night, I think our guys will be ready to go.
Well, and you've talked about devoting this season to the community, and I mean, when you're playing with that kind of, not pressure, but incentive, you tend to be motivated.
Yeah, definitely. And I think our kids, they understand that and recognize that. And you're right. It's almost, they're inspired by that. We all are. We talk about, we've been playing football at MDI since, 1968, and no team has won a regional championship. And there's been some really good football teams over the years come through. And, so we just feel like we'd like to dedicate this season, to every player that ever, strapped on those pads, or every coach on the sideline, and every parent that watched their kid play, and the fans. And, we just feel like we want to dedicate this season to our community, and we've been playing for them.
It'd be a heck of an accomplishment to fill the trophy case with, at the very least, a plaque signifying the best in Northern Maine for the first time in close to 50 years.
Definitely. And, you talk to the kids about it, and, what our goals are for the season, and that's been a goal for ours right from day one. And, and they know what has to happen, and that doesn't mean we're looking past anybody, Foxcroft or Oceanside, because we know either one of those teams could beat us on any given night. And so that's why we have to, maintain our focus and our intensity in practice, and have good practices. And so we're ready to go for that semifinal, because that's going to be one heck of a football game, and if we don't play our best football, we're going to lose. And and then that other team's going on to try to win that regional championship. So we know what's at stake, and the guys take that seriously.
Well, speaking of the community, you need the community behind you and that support on November 4th.
Yep. So if we can get people out, we have plenty of time in advance here to plan around it, hopefully, and hopefully we have decent weather so people can come out and support us. It's going to be a huge game for the program and for the school, and and for ultimately for our community. And like we said before, our guys, they really do feel that when we have a large crowd, and they get pumped up and excited, and the crowd gets excited. I mean, I can't really remember a game any more exciting than that Madison game, and I heard people just saying how loud the stands were, and we could hear it on the field. So, if we can get people out supporting us for that big semifinal game, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and there's really nothing like high school football game day when you've got the fantastic MDI band, you've got the cheerleaders that are there. When I'm sitting across and I can see the entire stands packed, and the ringing around the field by the snack shack. And boy, I'll tell you, even, with Jeff Zaman videoing it, and you can hear the crowd across on the other side, and it's picked up on the mics, and it's just incredible.
It really is. And I was thinking about that the other day, that, of course we have all our away games, and I think, I'm biased to MDI, of course, and our fans, but I just can't think of a better place to have a football game, especially being the home team like we are, because of our fan base. I mean, our people get out there, they get in the stands, they get excited, they're in the game. It really is a lot of fun. I mean, we went down to Oceanside the other day, and, I mean, they didn't have many people there. I was really surprised. I mean, they're a good football team, right, and that's a quality team to watch, and they just didn't seem to have a lot of fan base. And our, any year, any given night, I mean, we just have a large crowd, and people are in the game. So we're so lucky, and we just can't thank the community enough.
All right, Coach, we'll talk to you on Monday. We'll know who MDI will be playing in the semifinals on November 4th, and we'll go from there. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your first Friday off, although you're going to the game, I know. But at least you're not coaching this weekend.
All right, Chris, thank you. Chris, thank you.